Hi, I'm Kirsty Charlton and I work in occupational health, and I'm back again to tell you about our Mental Health Awareness Week. This starts on Monday the 10th of May and runs through until the 16th of May. This year the theme is around nature, and that is because research from the pandemic shows us that the top coping strategy people have used is to go out into nature, to go for a walk, a run, a bike ride, and to appreciate the things around. So, what we would like you to do, Team CDDFT, is to post a picture or a sound video or a video of some type that shows some part of nature that you like. This could be a place that you love to be in. It could be an animal, an insect, or a flower. Anything that takes your fancy. Post your videos, your images, your sounds onto the Team CDDFT Facebook page. Or email them to our lovely comms team, who will be delighted to pick them up. It's all about connecting with nature. Connecting with nature to help your mental health and your well-being.
I'm Marnie Ramsey and I work for Wellbeing for Life, which is one of the CDDFT services. I'm capacity built need, which means I deliver lots of training, in particular a lot of mental health training. So lots of people might already have done mental health first aid with me, which is something I do for the Trust, which is great. And it's great to see so many people doing that training. I'm also the chair of what is going to be the newly formed Mental Health Staff Network, which is part of the Disability Network for staff. So if anybody wants to get involved with that, we'll watch out for details coming soon, and a survey I'm going to launch as well. I just wanted to tell you a bit about my mental health, really, in terms of I've had a diagnosis of OCD, so obsessive compulsive disorder, and depression for 35 years. So, getting that diagnosis when you're a teenager is quite scary. And I want to talk about that stigma, really. So stigma was big when you're 13 and you've got a mental health condition, but also because you feel very different. And so from a very young age, feeling different to other people, my behaviour was different, and sort of people thinking you weren't, I suppose, normal, if whatever normal is, but you do feel very different. And so from a young age, not feeling like you fit in because of your mental health starts that stigma, and it shouldn't. And I suppose that's what has led me to do what I do today, is because just because we have a mental health condition shouldn't make us feel different. We are different, but it shouldn't make us feel less than everybody else because we do something different. So yeah, I have got a condition, but other people have physical health conditions, and we need to get to that place where physical and mental health conditions can just be treated as conditions, health conditions. We have things that people live with, and most people are going to have something that they live with, but for a long time, obviously historically, we've treated mental health conditions very differently, and not always as nice as we could have. And so for me, I have had a lot of stigma in my life, and I have worked, before I worked for the NHS, I worked for a mental health charity, which is obviously a great place to work if you have a mental health condition, because it was really understanding. So before that, I worked in the leisure industry and I ran a nightclub, and that was very much about you just had to put up with everything, and you couldn't really be unwell or stressed or anything. You just had to get on with it and get your own support, and it was really an unsupportive environment to be in. And so I left that and went to work for the charity, but then I left the charity and came to work for the NHS. And as liberating as it could possibly be for me, my first job in the NHS for the Trust was actually supporting people with mental health conditions back into work. And one of the things for the job was that you had to have had experience of a mental health condition. So suddenly liberated of a secret that you normally wouldn't tell employers, that I have a mental health condition, I actually could, and it was accepted, and it was brilliant. And I think my experience of the Trust has been pretty good in terms of mental health. I think, as a culture, we could do better, but I think cultural change doesn't come from the Trust. Cultural change comes from everybody within the Trust. We all need to learn to understand more about mental health, learn more about what it actually means. I think working for CDDFT, the thing that I have found is that I have had some managers who haven't been particularly understanding of my mental health, and have made their own decisions about how I should be treated or what adjustments I might need. And I think that's where we need to move away from. We need to be able to ask people what they need. You know, I know what I need, and it isn't really a lot of things, but ask me what I need, don't just do it. So there's nothing more sort of disappointing and making you feel like you're not good enough to actually have a manager say, maybe you should do this. I have had a manager say to me once, you can do this because of your OCD, you'll love it, which I didn't love, and we were told that manager that. But now, that isn't the case, you know, and I'm not expecting like my manager to get everything right all the time, because that isn't about getting things right all the time, it's about working together to get it right. So asking people how they want to be treated, how they want to be, you know, accommodated for their needs, and asking them what their needs are, and that's for everybody. We all have needs, we all have mental health. We all need to know how we want to be treated when we're having good days or bad days. And I think for me, the main message I would really want to get across is about, we all have mental health, and we all need to look after that mental health. And for me, that took a long time. So I have mental health conditions, but I also have mental health the same as everybody else. And so to look after my mental health, I think things I've done that have really helped have been, when I worked in the pub, I lived in a city, and that wasn't for me. So moving back to the northeast, I just suddenly realised how really appreciative I am of where we live. I mean, I'm from the northeast, and it's just beautiful, and we've got coast and countryside, and now I've moved to the Dales, and now, you know, I'm just driving here today, I see loads of pheasants and lambs, and when I drive home at night, I'll see an owl sitting on a fence, and I just think all of that is amazing, and I can actually feel that making me smile when I just see them. And so that's part of how I think I've improved my life, and like in terms of looking after my mental health. Actually just being really kind to yourself is one of the best things for your mental health. I for a long time believed had to be busy all the time, had to be with people all the time, had to be messaging people and on Facebook, and I don't really need to do any of that. Just be happy in the moment of whatever that moment is, and just enjoying it. I think as well, in terms of mental health, that as much as we can look after our mental health, that we do need to recognise that people with mental health conditions can do a lot to help manage and maintain their mental health. But at the end of the day, if they've got a condition that actually, you know, doing all them things might still not help, they might still have periods of being unwell, in the same way people with physical conditions do. And that's my dream, I suppose, that we get parity between physical and mental health, that we just look at them the same, and one day hopefully that's what we can achieve in CDDFT.